is Dort, and I'm down to dunk. This is Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
I'm Josh Giddey, and I'm down to dunk.
Hey, this is Kenny Hustle, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm Darius Baisley, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm Mike Muscala, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Poku, and I'm down to dunk.
I love cereal. Captain Crunch, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Cracklin' Oat Bran.
Oh, I can have these. I'm going to share with my team, but I'm going to hog most of it.
Welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schleck. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network. With me, sometimes on Sundays, is my good friend, Michele Barra. Michele, what's up?
Hey, it's good to be back a day earlier.
Yeah.
Like a short week.
Tomorrow is my 3-year-old son's 4th birthday. And so
wow,
trying to knock out some things today. I can like kind of take off work, but it's like, well, we still have to do podcasts. So we just got to move things around. We got to shuffle things around so that we can celebrate a 4-year-old's birthday tomorrow, which will be a great time. So,
hey, big day.
It's a big day. It's a big day. It's being a parent of kids, and I've got a 10-year-old, a almost 8-year-old, and now an almost 4-year-old. You gotta be there. You gotta cherish the times. So we're bringing you guys voicemail Monday on a Sunday today.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, funny story, not so funny story. Diego, my 5-year-old now, had his 3rd and 4th birthday during the COVID shutdown. And so last year, in February, he came to me and said, "Dad, please don't get COVID. And please throw the most amazing party for me because it's 2 years that I'm waiting."
Yeah. Yes.
So it's a big day.
It is a huge day. Yeah. Shout out to my son Arden, who will definitely not be listening to this on his birthday.
Too bad.
Okay. Our first voicemail is about this Chet Paolo Pro-Am yesterday. It was actually Jamal Crawford's, but let's be honest, it was really Chet and Paolo's show. So here is our first voicemail.
Hey, fellas, this is Caleb again. I just watched the Twitter thread from the Paolo Chet, whatever pickup game that was, and I'm kind of losing my mind. But like 2 questions. I'm thinking about like how I'm just wondering like how many threes is Chet going to take and make this year? Like I watched that game and I'm thinking about essentially like Paul George in the season where he shot like 10 threes a game. And I'm just like, why can't Chet do that? And if he does do that and shoots like okay percentage, like what is going to happen? And then the other question is just like, how did Twitter talk itself into Jabari being better than Paolo when Paolo is roughly 8 feet tall and 300 pounds and can pass, shoot, dribble, and jump like that? I don't understand how that occurred. Anyway, thank you.
Well, I can tell you that if Chet takes 10 threes and shots reasonably okay percentage, like 35% from 3, Andrew's dream about another high lottery pick is not going to happen.
Yeah.
I can tell you as much.
Yeah, it's a good question. I would say I don't think he's going to take that many threes.
No.
Because he is so good around the basket. And
that's not why.
And he's 7'1", and they're going to find him, and he loves to attack the basket too. And not that Paul George didn't. Like Paul George liked to attack the basket as well. But Paul George and Russell Westbrook were the Thunder offense, during those years. And I think the hope with this current iteration of the Thunder is that it's not just on one guy, especially with this particular team where you don't have some like generational score on the court. You've got like a really good scorer in Shai. You have Chet, who is like this multi-tool, like very useful player. That's going to help them a ton. I mean, he's going to be so helpful to them. But I mean, maybe eventually he'll get to 10 threes. I can't say that I would rule that out, but for this next year, I would be surprised.
Yeah, me too. I have yet to watch the prime. I'll probably do it later today or tomorrow. But I saw a few moments, and I mean, let's say that in these summer leagues, like after summer league, kind of summer leagues, defense is even less than the Vegas one. So I wouldn't put too much into that. The reason why he won't take 10 threes is because, as Andrew mentioned, I mean, this is not a team that will allow Chet Holmgren to take 15 shots next year, I think. And the balance will not be there if he takes 10 threes. I mean, it's not going to happen. I bet that Chet will take at least 3 pull-up in not pull-up, sorry, pick and pop actions with Shai. That is something that will happen, and then he will take another 2 maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes 5 or 6. 5 is probably a safer bet between 4 and 5, which is a good number for a center. And as Andrew mentioned, I mean, if he takes like 12 shots, I think that is a sweet spot for him, between 12 and 14, something like that. And I think that he can definitely take more, but I'm not sure that these offense will be as one that allows Chet to take like 20 shots in his first year.
Yeah, the most field goal attempts for anybody last year was Shai at 18.8.
Yeah.
And then Dort at 14. You have to wade through like the waters of some of these players. Like Melvin Frazier took 16 shots a game in his 3 games.
Yeah.
Kalaitzakis took 14 shots a game in the.
Those were brilliant times. Brilliant.
Xavier Simpson got to deal with the Magic, had 13 a game, but then like Josh Giddey was 12. Trey Mann was 9.8.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, they really spread the ball around. And I was just thinking, like, this is where like a per 36 number could be actually kind of useful. Where like Muscala, you know what? This is quite interesting. Per 36, Mike Muscala, it's like 9.9 threes per game.
Yeah. Mike was automatic. Was hoisting every single time. I don't think that Chet will be in the same kind of mold. I think that the team will want him to be a little bit more creative with the ball. Yeah. And so that's why, first of all, he will not play 36. That is a big reason why he won't take 10 shots, because he will play, I think, between 25 and 28 per game. I don't think that he will play more.
Yeah, Giddey played 31. Yeah, played 32. Really, Shai played the most. Yeah, played 34.7 minutes per game. Really, it needs to be like per 30. Should be like the real.
Yeah.
Per 36 is outdated in a lot of ways, just because.
Yeah.
Essentially, no one played 36 minutes, and the reason you even have per 36 is like, okay, what would a player that's sitting on the bench that plays 15 minutes, like if you extrapolated it, what would that look like if they were a starter or like a full time?
Yeah, but which is something. Yeah, which is something self-lauded, I think. I remember when I used to do scouting for my home team here in Italy, and it was like this bright basketball mind, Marco Crespi, who worked with David Griffin as a scout in Phoenix. And Casale acquired Schultz, which is a German player who was a modern player, like just a three-point shooter, very nice, soft hands, tall. And Marco told me, hey, are you excited about the 15 minutes that I gave Schultz yesterday? I said, yes. Okay, next time I will give him 30. You will have the exact same production. Nothing more. He did, and he was right. Like, he played 15 minutes, hoisted 6 threes, and made 4 of them. He played 30 next game, 6 threes, 4 made. It's not always mathematically correct to correlate production of 15 minutes compared to 30 because of stamina, because of the guys who you play against. Like if you play strictly against bench unit 10 minutes and then you maybe play 10 with the starters, it's not the same. So, and again, I think that Chet will not play as much. I mean, I think that the minutes is something that OKC will monitor very closely, and I kind of lean more towards 25 than 30 if I have to bet.
Yeah, and some of that is that it's an 82 game season.
Yeah.
The first time. And not to say that he couldn't be like a 33 minute a game or 33 minute a night guy here in the next few years, but man, you really want to. It's going to be tough because I think Chet's going to want to play a lot, but you're going to have to like hold him back a little bit because
Yeah.
if like physically, you just watch. If you watched him yesterday in the pro-am, like he attacks the basket pretty recklessly at times.
Yeah.
And you just watch him fall and you're just like, oh my gosh, I hope he's okay. I hope he's going to be okay. Like I thought that so many times watching him yesterday. It's like, holy crap, he's going to play 82 games like this. You got to let him, you got to slow him down a little bit there. Just because it's hard for every single rookie that comes into the league. It's like, man, this is a lot of games. Like eventually they all say that, and Chet will be the same. So,
yeah, and it may be, Andrew, that they will play him 30, but they will play him 60 games. That is also a way to manage his minutes. I don't know what the plan will be, but I mean, the total amount of minutes for the season is going to be, I think, 25 times 82 or whatever. Like, if you play 60, then of course you have more minutes to get around. So,
yeah, no, I think I might lean toward he'll play closer to 30, but we'll see. As far as like the pro-am in itself, it was really fun to watch, and and Chet and Paolo played on the same team, which you wish they did not. But they did, and you could just tell they're like, holy smokes, these guys. Like these two are ridiculous. Paolo was on one yesterday, man. Paolo was so good. He could score on every single guy in every single way. It was unbelievable. And his passing and his ball handling, like, he looked so good. And so did Chet. Chet looked awesome. Like defensively, guys didn't really want to try a whole lot. And I think he still had like 8 blocks. He's like 34, 8 blocks, 13 boards. I mean, he was just a monster. Yesterday, he was hitting some step back threes, some deep, deep threes. You should be pretty excited. The level of competition and the level of like competitiveness is like definitely within question. That felt more like an all-star game type environment. But still, like
cool. Like even in an all-star game setting. I mean, if you do 34 plus 13 and 8, that's nice.
They were clearly the 2 best guys. When you watch the game, it was like, who stands out? Well, it's that giant, tall, skinny dude, and then the thick guy that's playing next to him. And as far as like the Paolo question, a lot of draft Twitter was on Paolo as the best guy all year. There were a lot of draft Twitter people that were on that. It was like the intel that was coming from the team sides about who was going to go number 1 was Jabari. And you kind of rely on ESPN and the guys at The Athletic and to kind of steer you in the right direction with regards to those things. And even I heard some stuff from behind the scenes from people that are like directly plugged in that were saying that it was Jabari. And you do kind of look back and think, how did we talk ourselves into that? Like, and it's not like Jabari's a bad player. He's a really good player, like really great defender, really good shooter, but like the creation stuff for himself and others just isn't there. And so you do wonder a little bit about how we got there.
Yeah, I think that we got there. First of all, we did not. But anyway, we as Mikael and Andrew.
I think we said like during the process that it was like Chet 1A, Paolo 1B.
Yeah.
That's where we landed after that.
And we are a bit homer because we knew that if OKC were to draft second, I mean, it was Chet all over.
Oh, we wanted Chet bad. We wanted Chet bad from the moment that we watched him. And
yeah, exactly.
Jabari, you could be like, okay, Jabari is the one where I think if you're thinking about like traditional NBA, you're thinking about, okay, how do I make the current team that we have work? I
Yeah,
think
you get Jabari.
there's the case that Jabari is the best guy because what does
Yeah.
he do? Incredible defender, great play finisher. What do we need? We've already got 2 really good guards. What do we need the most? We need that. But I think Sam, this rebuild is so interesting in so many ways.
Mhm.
Sam is looking at the landscape of the league, or I just have to imagine he's looking at the landscape of the league and he's like, how do I not become what other teams have been, but how do I become something that has never happened in the NBA before? How do I do that? And how do I become like Golden State was something we had never seen before?
Mhm.
And they jumped the Thunder because they had discovered what was next. They had discovered like the next like inefficiency and had the exact right 2 players, really 3 players to exploit it. Now the Thunder are trying something that no one else has really ever tried. One, a rebuild the way that they're doing it. No one's really ever tried it and carried it out the full extent.
Mhm.
And then 2, they are going all skill at every position. And if you look up and down the roster, they want everyone. And we've talked about this a lot. But what other team has a point guard through center that can initiate offense?
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. There's not a team that is doing this. And to get the Chet piece is like the hardest piece to get. Now, there's going to be more of these type of guys that are coming into the league over the next probably 10 years. And so it might not look as different in 10 years as it does today. But right now, like that's why you draft J-Dub. That's why you draft Usman Jang. Like, that's why you draft those guys, so that they can all do it. And there's not another team that does that. And that's what
With a
Sam
caveat, though.
do.
With a huge caveat, though, which is I think that sometimes is under discussed. They are doing that while adding oversized players for their positions. Now,
yeah.
Dort is a little bit of an exception because he's not oversized, and I think that is fun. That is not something that they really draft. It's something that fell into their laps. And
exactly.
Wow,
they did not draft Dort. They
exactly.
They brought him in blue.
Yeah, exactly. When you get Dort as a 2-way, you get that kind of guy. You won the lottery anyway, even if it's not part of your type of player. Trey Man, you can say that he's kind of not oversized for the position, but he has a different kind of skill set, which you still need, I think. And all the others, if you look at Jang, if you look at J-Dab, these are players that are oversized for their position. J-Dab is a 1-2 that is able to guard him 4 just because he's huge, and Jang is a 2 with the body of a 4. So I really think
Shai. Those are your guards.
Giddy Shai, yes, of course. So they are really doing that while not sacrificing anything on the defensive side, because Giddy, yes, is not a great defender. He's not a good defender probably today, but I think that he can get there if he wants that. And all the other players like Chet, Jang, J-Dub, Dort, they are good defenders, very good defenders. JRE, I mean, so it's a way of building the roster that is very interesting. On Jabari, I mean, we can sit down next year and say, oh, we kind of misevaluate Jabari because he's scoring like crazy and he's the best defender on the perimeter that the league has seen in a couple of years, in the last 5 years. That can happen. I mean, the lack of shot creation is something that is real. Mm-hmm. It was apparent at Auburn. It was still apparent in Summer League. But he's very young. And so the reason why was a huge part of the evaluators that said, hey, 6'10", 40% from 3, awesome defense. That is what I need. And it's not a bad idea. I mean, if you have Middleton and you get it at 1, 2, 3 in a draft that is perceived as a bad draft, that is not bad. Like,
a great player.
Yeah, a great player. And Jabari, I think, has a ceiling that is higher than that because he's very good defensively and very good at taking much harder shot that Middleton is taking right now. So I know that Paolo is a shiny toy right now, but let's wait an entire season before we judge. I think that all three, at the end of the season, we can look back and say, boy, okay, Orlando made that pick, and it was a good pick, but these three players are very good. And so all the three teams found gems at 1, 2, 3.
Next question comes from Chuck.
Andrew, this is Chuck Cohen in Hampton, Connecticut, an 81-year-old basketball freak that goes back before George Mikan, but also a huge OKC fan since KD stepped on the court at Texas. Question for you. With the signing of the shooting coach and the assistant general manager from the Sixers, do you think that the approach by Sam Presti will accelerate this year, since they're obviously going to win a lot more games? So I thought that's a good question. I think everybody's assuming they will tank, but I don't. I think they'll win too many games this year. And I also think that Jang, from what I see, is going to be a big star. Maybe in 2 years you'll see it. Anyway, looking forward to your response. Thanks a lot. Bye.
This is amazing.
That's my favorite call we've had by far so far. Thank you,
Wow.
Chuck, for the question.
I'm on Team Chuck, by the way.
Huh?
I'm on Team Chuck all the way.
I know
Like,
you're on
with
Team
Jang, with next year. I mean, it's way to go.
I haven't asked you we haven't talked about Chip England being the shooting coach yet.
No, we did not.
Wednesday that they announced that, right before Alex and I recorded. It's a big deal. What were your initial thoughts?
I was surprised. Usually it's hard to pry away these kind of assistant coach / front office guys, legends from places like that. So it is surely a huge signing for OKC. Now, to expect some Harry Potter kind of charm on players, I don't know if it's fair to cheap in the first place, but to expect like some player to start the path that maybe in 2-3 years will improve their shots. So if Giddy goes from 27 to 33 in 3 years, that is a huge win for OKC.
Huge. Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone is thinking, hey, tomorrow Giddy will shot 40%. No, if that happens, boy, this guy needs like to get, I don't know, what kind of like bonus or something.
Yeah, give him $10 million if he can do that, because
yeah, of course.
you're getting at a high level for a long time if Giddy can shoot it like that.
Yeah. And so I think that having one of the best in your in the practice facility every single day, that will improve everything for everyone. And so it's a good sign. Again, even if you don't expect magic, this is a great signing, because again, this culture is maybe it's the little things, it's the rhythm, it's maybe adding a little bit more of consistency in the results, like maybe not having 10% more of 3-point percentage at the end of the year for OKC, but maybe having more consistent results game to game.
Yeah.
Like being a 33% team and shooting 25, then 40, and 25, then 40, compared to shooting 33 every single night, it's quite different. So I really expect something to change there. And it's, again, it's very, very interesting. I don't know how much it correlates with winning in year one. But again, I'm on team, hey, this team will surprise a little bit more than what we expect. So this is just a reinforcement to what I think. I don't think they brought in Chip England to increase their winning percentage next year. I think that it's a good person to have for the next 5 years, at least 5 to 10 years.
Without a doubt. I think that you look at the situation and you think, okay, we want everybody to be able to shoot, pass, and dribble. What are we missing here? And with Shai and with Giddey, and not that Shai's a bad shooter. I don't think Shai's a bad shooter.
No.
I think he's a good shooter. But could he be great? I think it's possible. But you have to have the right people in place. And Chip he's just one of those guys that could help take them from good to great, or from bad to good. Or, we just need these guys to be able to strike fear into the hearts of a defense. We want the defense, like, you want to bend the defense as much as possible. And they're going to bend defenses with just the fact that everyone can make decisions.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be the one thing. But if you want to compete at a championship level, that's not enough. You got to be able to make shots. And so if you can bend the defense with every single person, when the ball hits their hands, they can take a dribble, make a pass, decide to drive, whatever they want to do. But if you fear 2 or 3 guys on the perimeter that are going to hit shots, as Giddey tries to create or as Shai tries to create, it changes everything for you.
Yeah. And
you don't know what piece you're going to get in next year's draft either. Like, Chip could be just as much for that guy as he is for Giddey. We just don't know. But I think he's here to help this team, ratchet it up a level. I don't know that we may see the results this year. I can't sit here and say that I know that we won't see the results this year. I don't.
No.
I don't know that.
We don't.
You hope that he is that good to where he arrives and it's like, oh, now Giddey, is not shooting 28%. He's 35% from 3, and teams are closing out. And now this Thunder team is a problem. Like, you hope, I would hope that could happen. I just have my doubts. These things take time. Would be my point. I don't think they're going to necessarily be a team that has to tank to the bottom, but I do think that they're going to be a team that's in like the 5, 6, 7 range, and you hope they can jump. That's where I think they'll be. I think they have too much talent to be a bottom 2 team in the league. But they'll still be in the lottery.
I think that as well. And one thing that I don't know, and I think that everyone have their own picture in mind about why Chip England improves the shot of the players, is technique, is what you do as a preparation, is mental, it's something that you do with how you think about your shooting. We have no idea. It will be an amazing story. Maybe someone already written it, but it's impressive how in how many ways you can improve a jump shot. I mean, we have seen it many times. Incredible shooters like Abrines is probably one of the purest shooter that OKC ever had in terms of mechanism. Of course, Kevin Durant was probably the best. And something was not working. I mean, Abrines is a 40% shooter. And it was never that. So you wonder which levers will he pull to make this team a better shooting team. It's also about which kind of shot you should take, where. I mean, everything it matters in terms of shooting. So will Chip being able to improve Lou Dort's shot selection? Will that improve his consistency in terms of landing spot with his feet? Is the upper part? We don't know. And this is an amazing story. I mean, if we see something with our own eyes, then it means that we'll have an answer. If not, it's maybe on other stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to watch. I actually have lined up an interview with a guy who is a shooting coach for a college team to come on the Dream Team show here in a couple weeks. So it should be fun. Let's go to our next voicemail. This is about Chet.
Hi guys. I'm just calling to wonder if Just wonder what you're more excited about in terms of next year's rebuild, especially offensively. Since Chet's so versatile on the offensive end, are you more excited to see him in transition or working in the sets on the half court? Thanks.
I'm just so excited to watch him working with Shai. I think that, and we were discussing it before the podcast. I got a very interesting DM about Shai, the fact that he's the forgotten gem of the OKC team. I think that it's common. We have a new shiny toy, and we focus all our attention to Chet because Chet is awesome. But I think that I am more excited to see how Chet unlocks the half court offense for OKC because in transition, I mean, you have Giddy that can hit a cross-court pass. You have Shai that can run the transition. It was not a terrible team in transition last year. OKC wasn't. So I'm excited to see how he unlocks the spacing between Shai and Giddy. But I mean, just a simple action, like a pick and pop action with Shai handling the ball and Chet just popping up. How do you guard that? How other teams will guard that? It's fascinating to me. Will they allow him to shoot, or will they stay home with Chet, which means that Shai is not going to be doubled as much? I mean, all these things. I just can't wait to see because we saw like the connection between Giddy and Chet and pick and rolls. It was not very seamless, but it was already there. And so you have an idea how the second unit, maybe with Gideon and Chet, how that can work. But with Shai, I mean, I'm so excited to see how that goes.
Yeah. For me, it's in transition, especially in person.
Mm.
Because and to hear the roar of the crowd as Chet grabs the ball off the rim and you can see a lane, because he did this a lot yesterday at the Pro-Am. It's like he would grab the ball, he'd see a lane, and he would just take it.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna be so much fun to watch him. And with Giddy and with Shai and with guys like Dort and J-Dub and whoever else he plays with, Kenrich, it's going to be so helpful because like that Gonzaga team was really good, but Chet's never played with guys like that are this good before. And he's also never played against guys that are going to be as good as they are. But to get out on the break, if like Giddy's leading the break and it's Chet and it's Shai, running the wing. I mean, it's going to be so much fun to see like the decision-making process from Giddy. I think Giddy's going to have so much fun.
Yeah.
And Chet was leaking out a bunch yesterday. He kind of be in like a bad spot defensively, honestly, but he would be out on the perimeter. And then once they got the rebound, like he was already gone. And Giddy is going to find him just like lickety split. It's going to be so much fun.
I also want to see him pulling up, like just run the transition.
And he will.
Yeah, I fully expect that.
There is no doubt he will. Yeah, Chet is such a fascinating basketball player. Like he's one of the most unusual basketball players you'll ever watch.
Yeah,
what's cool is that you get to watch him on your team for a long time, which is really, really cool. Okay, next question.
Hey, Andrew and friends. This is Barrett Lyle. My question for you guys, and I've ran this question past friends as well who really enjoyed it. But my question for you is: someday the Thunder are going to win a championship. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And so when that day comes, we have to throw a parade. So, what is your ideal Thunder championship parade? Where does it start at? Where does it stop at along the way? To do what? Where does it finally come to an end at? So tell me your ideal dream Thunder championship parade route and activities. Thanks a lot. Keep up the good work.
This is one that I might save a little bit for the Friday podcast too, because I think this would be a good question if we got all of our Friday crew there to answer. But
yeah, my only answer is that I want to be there. For me, it's being there.
You would have to be here. I think that you start it like around the arena and you go south on Robinson, kind of across the south end of Scissortail Park, and actually Scissortail is going to extend all the way to South 15th Street, I think. I don't know if you want to do all that, but anyways, if you just went to the southern end of what right now is Scissortail Park, back up Hudson all the way to Sheridan, and then back around, like you could, a lot of people could be involved then, because like then you're just talking about like the parks, and there's like parking garages or the parking lots over there where you could have just a ton of people there. I don't know how long a parade route is. I've never been a part of a championship parade. I have no idea what that looks like, but maybe I feel like Jay and Taylor would probably have better answers, and L-Man would probably have some good activities. So here's another, we have another question that is kind of difficult to answer, and also maybe a Friday pod question. One maybe specifically for Taylor, but I'm going to see if maybe Michele's got something. Here we go.
Hey, what's up, Down to Dunk? This is Senator Kennedy. I'm calling from Nashville, Tennessee. Now, the Tennessee Titans have as their rallying cry, Tighten Up. Now, of course, Thunder has Thunder Up, but the Titans have been around longer than the Thunder, not by much, but just by a little bit. So if the Thunder were forced to change the rallying cry, I don't know if it's like trademarked or copyrighted or what even that means to have a rallying cry. What do you think they might change it to? And what do you hope that they might change it to? Now, there's a lot of lame ones around the league. I'm specifically thinking of Go Spurs Go. But perhaps we can have like a music tie-in, talk to Chris Gaines maybe about Thunder rolls, maybe serve some fresh baked rolls at the game, tie in the rap rock stylings of POD, do some Here Comes the Boom. Yeah, let me know. You the man, Schlecht. Peace.
This is an amazing call. I do like the Thunder rolls. I've always thought like that. I never thought of there being like a food element to it.
That's amazing.
It's good marketing.
Yeah.
Here Comes the Boom. Anything POD related gets my sign off 100%. When they introduced Thunder Up, though, I remember it, and I was like, man, that is the dumbest thing. That is the dumbest saying. Are you guys ready to Thunder Up? It's like, oh my gosh, like that is horrific. But now it's just like woven into the fabric of the fan base, and like it's just something that people say, like, hey, Thunder Up, bro. You know, I mean, people just
also, it's not just the Titans, it's also the Boilermakers. When I was at Purdue, it's Boiler Up. I mean, it was okay, nice. So it's the same. It's weird that I was in two kind of sport environments in the US, and it's both like Boiler Up or Thunder Up.
Yeah, I don't really understand Thunder Up. I understand what it's supposed to mean. I've never really liked it though. I guess maybe it's because I have a podcast that's more pointed down. It's down, and not up. So maybe that's working against me here. But yeah, I would like to see something revamped. There's a lot of like Thunder related songs that you could use, and they do use a lot of them at the games. But a rallying cry is just a tough one, because I don't know that Thunder Up gets people just so excited. I think it's just like, you know, being at the games. Yeah, I don't know. And maybe people like it. Like, let us know. Let us know on Twitter. Do you like Thunder Up? Are you a Thunder Up person? I mean, I know a lot of people say it, they use Thunder Up. I don't know. I don't really say it very, very much. I feel weird.
I may use it on Twitter as a hashtag, just because it's when I used to make Thunder content like this post game or whatnot, which I should get back to. I used to put the hashtag, but that's about it.
Yeah. No, I think it's let's see. Black White here says hashtag Thunder Up. Grim Porpoise on the stream says, doesn't it stem from Cowboy Up from the Red Sox in 03 or whatever? I don't know. Hey, don't ask me. I need to actually investigate this a little bit. I can make some phone calls and find out like who came up with Thunder Up. Where did that come from? Who decided that this was our rallying cry, that this was our hashtag? I don't know who decided that. All right, we've got a few more questions. Here's our next one.
Hey guys, this is Bryson from North Carolina. I just had a quick question for you guys about Shai. I just feel like with the more facilitating and playmaking we've gotten on this team, I know you guys were talking about it, and we don't know if Shai's the number one option or anything. And I think when it comes to All-Star games and stuff like that, like his credibility could be built up more with the playmaking because, you know, when Shai came into the league, he was a great defender. You know, a lot of people talked about how he navigated screens really well and things like that. And obviously with the offensive load he's had to carry, it's been very difficult for him to probably be a plus defender. But with all the playmaking and everything that shot creation and everything that's kind of gotten, do we think that maybe the ball gets a little bit more out of Shai's hands? He becomes more efficient and can focus on the defensive side of the ball a little bit? Anyway, thank you guys. We love you. Keep it up.
You have thoughts, McKelly? I'm sure you do.
Oh, it would be amazing. I mean, I'm all in for not having Shai attacking in the most difficult situation possible. He will have to get to that when OKC will be ready to make the playoffs. That is where and when he will have to attack a packed defense or a great defense. It will be amazing to ease up his work because it will be less fatigue and it will be just better basketball. At times in year one of this rebuild, I had the feeling that when Shai was off the court, and it was Kenrich, it was CP3, sorry, not CP3, it was Horford, the ball was moving better. And last year he was better at that. The ball was moving a lot more. He was like passing more. But I think that there is another level for this to go. And the only game that Giddey and Shai played after also break, I think that was a very good game. I know that after Shai said, "Hey, this is not plan A," but he got 30 that game. If he can get cheap 30, to quote Josh Giddey on Trey Man, a cheap 30 every single night, that would be amazing. And if we get Shai to be just an adequate defender, not a great one. I mean, great one would be wow, insane. But just to be a guy who can spend 4 fouls and not worry about the team sunk offensively with him out of the court, that would be an amazing thing for him and for OKC. And I agree, he will get national recognition if he's average or better defensively while scoring 26, 27. I think that he can get to 27, 6 and 6, something like that next year. Yeah. I mean, it was 24. It was 24 and a half, 5 and 5.
Oh, I know. I need a fan on or something in here. Wow.
I don't think that was so spicy. Like
how many guys do that though in the NBA?
I'm very high on Shai.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I'm saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that's like
you want to go 26. It's 1.5 points more. It's not a big deal.
It seems like
it's
not
just
a big
improving.
Deal.
It's just getting back to 35% from 3. It's not huge.
Yeah. He struggled at points in the season. There's no doubt.
I think that is something that he can achieve. He just has to show it for the entire season.
Yeah. How many guys averaged 27 or more points per game last year?
7.
10.
Okay.
Here's the list. Nikola Jokic, 27.1. Ja Morant, 27.4. Kyrie Irving in his 29 games, 27.4. DeMar DeRozan, 27.9. Trae Young, 28.4. Luka, 28.4. Kevin Durant, 29.9. Giannis, 29.9. LeBron, 30 in his 56 games. And then Joel Embiid, 30.6. So that's the list. That's some good players, man. That's some good players. Guys that average 26 points. The list is 2. Jason Tatum and Devin Booker.
Mm-hmm.
And then guys that have averaged 25 or more, it's only 14 guys. Steph Curry was 25.5. Donovan Mitchell 25.9. So I'm saying, like, if he's like 25, 26, that's a lot of points, man.
What was his average? 24.8?
24.5. He's 16th in scoring per game.
I mean, he improved 1.5 point from 2 seasons ago to this one, right?
Yeah. Played 56 games last year. Yeah, he's a good player. There's no doubt about that. I don't know, getting up to 27, then we're talking about a top 10 scorer in the league.
Let's say 26.
Then we're talking about a top 12 scorer in the league.
I think that he can get that there.
Well, he's already top 14. So why not? Why not? Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
The point to me is maybe if he won't get there.
Yeah.
Because he's super duper efficient, but he takes less shots. That is a huge win for OKC as well. Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
Like, if he can be 50, 40, 80, whatever, and you get Giddy Dort, and Chet, like, being efficient and scoring a lot, and Shai has to take just 16 shots, that's perfectly fine for me. I don't expect that to happen next year, though. Maybe in the future. Next year, I think that Shai will just be melting hot from the beginning. But this is just me.
Yeah, Shai's 16th in scoring. I think I said 14th, but he's 16th in points per game in the league. Most of these guys are taking 20 shots per game that are scoring more. The exceptions to that rule are Nikola Jokic, only shot 17.7 shots per game and averaged 27 points. Giannis scored 29 points per game on 18 shots.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Embiid, 30 points per game on 19 shots.
Yeah, but Embiid is taking like 13 free throws per game, something like that.
Oh, yeah. He's taking 11.8.
Yeah.
Giannis, 11.4. Yeah. But that's how you do it. Like, that's how you get there.
Yeah.
That's how Kevin got there.
Yeah.
You know?
And
Kevin takes 7 free throws a game. You know how many? Shai takes 7 too. If Shai gets up to 10 free throws per game, which how many players are shooting 10, or how many players do you think are taking 10 or more?
7.
2.
Really?
Giannis,
just Embiid and Giannis?
Mm-hmm. The next highest is Harden, who took 8. Jimmy Butler took 8. DeMar took 7. Luka 7.
Yeah, that makes sense.
7. Josh 7. Trae Young 7. Shai is 10th in free throw attempts per game in the NBA.
Hey, having him play 1-on-1, 3 possessions more, and you get 2 free throws more.
Yeah.
At least.
Some spicy takes here. I like it. I
don't know if you like it.
Making the case. I do like. Here's the thing. Some people get this twisted a little bit, that I don't want they think for some reason I don't want the Thunder to be good. I want the Thunder to be good more than you do. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the listeners. I want the Thunder to be good more than anybody. I want them to actually reach a level that they could that we can't even imagine. And that's why I want them to add another player. It's not that I think this team stinks and they can never. No, I think they have really good pieces. I even said the other day, I think they have most of the pieces that they're going to have whenever they start making whatever run they make. But I want to have a 10-year long run that gets a championship, where they get to the West Finals a bunch, where they're in the playoffs, just in the thick of it for a decade, And can you imagine? Is there a way that the team they have now, plus the 14th or 15th pick next year, could do that? It's not impossible. But I would feel a lot better if that pick was the 6th or 7th pick. That's all. Okay, next question. We got 2 more questions. We got to go.
Hey, guys. If you could choose 1 or 2 NBA players for Giddey
and Holmgren and J-Dub to study. I would love to know who the one or two players you would choose for each of them to study would be, and kind of what specific focus you would have for them. Hope you're having a great day. Ciao.
Okay. So you can do past, present, or future. The guy I think of with Chet specifically is Kevin Garnett.
Yeah.
And specifically
I
on.
thought you were saying Kevin Durant. I said, "Oh yeah, sure."
Also Kevin. Yeah, just don't listen to any of the off the court stuff. Don't listen to his podcast. Don't do that. Kevin Garnett on the defensive end, if he could be the menace that KG was, who was like probably the most switchable big man of all time, and was the foundation of a championship level team. Like that's the guy. And the intensity and what he brought to the court was just unlike anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, go study that guy. Like, what did he do on the defensive end? Like, he was an absolute psycho on the defensive end. I mean, that would be the guy that I would want. I mean, go look at even his Timberwolves stuff. I mean, I remember watching him on TV and thinking, like, man, he's bringing the ball up the court for the Wolves. Like, he's the best player on the Wolves. Like, he's doing everything for them. And then he's like by far their best defender. I mean, that guy was unreal. That's for defense. And then offensively, I mean, I think that Durant's not a bad idea, because he's 7 feet tall and he handles. Like, go figure out how he learned to generate his own shot, like specifically, because it's going to be harder for Chet. He's fluid. He's not as fluid as Kevin.
No, there is just one Kevin.
There's one Kevin. And if he could learn at least some from KD, not that he needs to be KD, but like Chet has like the weirdest, wildest skill set of anybody.
Yeah.
And he could do some of the stuff that both of those guys do. And he's got like the intensity and the competitiveness and stuff to boot, which is partly, I think, why if you're the Thunder, you just love the guy. So to me, those are a couple guys that I would say, like, okay, Chet, like here's two guys that I want you to really like take a look at. What about Josh?
Oh boy. I'm very bad at this.
Well, when I think about Josh, I think about Jason Kidd. Like, I just can't not think about it.
Yes, but I don't want him to study that.
You want him to study somebody way different.
I want him to study the timing of the passes of Steve Nash. I know that it's vanilla take. Yes, Steve Nash, great passer. Yes, but you need to look at the pace, and the passing windows, the type of passes that he used to throw. I mean, it's a totally different player, and he was leveraging his shot to keep the defense on. This is, again, a completely different player. But the way in which Steve like studied the court, like understand the timing, the pace. I mean, it's different from anybody else, and so that, and also Manu. I mean, I know that Giddey's an incredible passer, but those two were among the best. And I think that J-Dub should study a little bit of Manu as well. He is creative, and Manu used to find ways to impact the game from the bench. I mean, again, I'm not comparing Manu to J-Dub or to Giddey. That is not it. But Manu was someone who can really change the pace of a game on both ends.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that he was a scorer, a good passer, a great defender. He had everything. Even if he was not the most he was a good athlete, but not the most explosive guy out there.
Yeah.
And so I think that it makes a good summer study for J-Dub as well.
Yeah, Manu is a great one. And just like
Manu.
the ultimate team player. He had a birthday the other day. Yeah, he'd be great. I'd also like Vince Carter's another one, like a late career Vince Carter for J-Dub. It's like, look at what Vince did. Like, he was able to, And this is the thing I love about J-Dub is like how scalable he was, and that's the thing that kept like Vince Carter. I think he's third in most games played all time,
Mm-hmm.
and it's because of the scalability of his game.
Yeah,
he learned how to be like the ultimate guy that some people thought like this is the next Michael Jordan was Vince Carter.
Yeah,
the hype was that big, all the way down to I catch and shoot for the Mavs,
Yeah,
and
he was awesome
so good.
at times.
So good, and just the scalability of that. It's like, man, like this is what you got. Like this is you. So I think like him and Manu like are two really good ones. Yeah, and then like Giddy also, I think Chris Paul is like another vanilla answer, but it's like it's about the pace that Chris plays with. Like he doesn't let anybody speed him up or slow him down unless it's Russell Westbrook in the last 5 seconds of a Clippers Thunder playoff game, game 5 in OKC. Other than that, he dictates the game. Like it's his game, and we got to see that for a season here in Oklahoma City, and that was really fun because it was just all about like the way that Chris organized the team, and also the way that Chris, helped a lot of guys find success that year.
Yeah.
Think about Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder, by the way, not signed to a team.
It's weird
right now.
Hey, there was a rumor.
Yeah,
This signing with OKC.
Yeah, sure. And Dennis is not that old.
No, I think he is
28.
the 29 this year. He will be 29 sure
Yeah, he turns
soon.
29 in September.
Yeah.
He's not. One, I don't think he's done. Two, he should be on a team right now. Like we've seen how good he is, and part of that was like Chris, and Dennis has got to find his way where he goes next. But man,
I mean, turning down a huge paycheck for a bigger one is always a risky proposition. Noel did that, and he almost lost his way.
Yep.
He did that with the Lakers, and he definitely lost his way.
Yep.
I really hope he finds a way here or in Europe. There are many teams that will sign him in EuroLeague without blinking twice. So it's still, I mean, with Chris Paul, I kind of hope that Giddey turns into, Chris Paul is, hey, scream for me and I will make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say that I kind of don't want that for OKC? And I would hope for something more organic, something that is not orchestrated by Chris Paul, but something that is more.
You want him to play a Manu role?
No, in general, I don't want to have Chris Paul. No one's ball. Like it's again, I always go there. But if you look at the Warriors, it's not Steph ball. Steph is part of the engine.
Yeah.
Part that makes everything else work, but it's not him that it's actively making it work. Like it's not commanding the offense. He's at the service of the offense. If OKC can unlock that with every player, like Chet, Giddy and Shai and all the others, that will be, I think, that is what sticks.
Yeah.
That is what is most dangerous in the playoffs, because you have something that is not one-man show or one-man engine. It's more than that. It's really an orchestra that plays together. So
yeah, I think that's the way that they envision the team.
I hope so.
They all play with a rhythm and a verb that is just very unique. Logan M in the chat here on live here on YouTube says that Chet needs to learn more O from Dirk.
Yeah, that would be nice as well. I mean, he's already doing the fadeaway one-legged jumper, so we need to show. He needs to show us the turnaround and a few other things.
Yeah, maybe he just learns from Dirk and from Mutombo, the Dirk Mutombo combination there from Chet.
Yeah, it's a not bad combination.
Last question. We'll have to answer this pretty quick because I gotta go.
Hey, Andrew, Mikey, this is Dylan at Thunder Chats, and I was just calling in to, first of all, say appreciate all you guys do, but I want to talk about Chet for a second. The question I kind of have is, with Shai and Giddy looking to have such a big role in the offense, specifically with the ball in their hands and usage, how much do you see Chet having the ball in his hands? Like, is he the third option? Would he be the fourth option offensively behind a guy like Dort or Trey Manning in the lineup? Like, how many shots and opportunities to score the ball, I guess, do you think Chet's going to be able to have? And do you think it's going to be more play finishing type, or do you think they're going to let him cook a little bit? Love the show. Can't wait to hear.
I think that we kind of answered that at the beginning of the show a little bit. I think that they will let him cook for sure. But I think that he will definitely be number 3 in shooting attempts. If it's more, it's it's a hell of a season. Like, if Chet is taking 15 shots, I mean, this will be fun. Extremely fun.
I think he's the second option.
Oh, really? Wow.
I do. I think that Dort is a player that needs to scale down as far as scoring goes.
No, I was thinking more Giddy. I mean, he took 12. I think he will be up a little bit from there. Maybe not.
Yeah. I think Giddy's just more of a facilitator. I think that it's Shai, then Chet, and then we'll let whoever else define who that is.
Hey, this is perfect for me. Like, I want to see him cooking. The jump shot is so enticing. Like, I really can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah. Thanks so much for listening to the show. If you would leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, that would mean so much to us. It's really easy, especially if you're listening on an iPhone. You can click the purple podcast app, search Down to Dunk, hit 5 stars. You can leave us a message. We see all of them, and it means a lot to us if you would do that. Thanks so much for subscribing on YouTube as well. We have lots of people that follow along. If you hit subscribe first, then hit the little bell. It'll tell you when we go live, and you can join us and comment. We got a pretty lively comment section almost every podcast, so be sure to join us. Hope you guys have a great Sunday or Monday, whenever you're listening to this. And we'll talk to you guys again on Wednesday.